Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the iRacing eSports Network for the final round of the World GT Championship Season 7. Hello, everybody. I'm Andrew Woodhouse alongside Sam Fitzpatrick with Sam Kumo on the cameras. And, well, Sam, what a finale we've got in prospect. We've got many drivers to win that can win all the different championships.
It's remarkable, isn't it, how close the championship is at this point. This is round 15 of the season, and we pretty much knew that it was going to come to this as well. We've got kind of 4 drivers going for the over. I'd say 4, 6 drivers. I correct myself. 6 drivers going for the overall, arguably 7, and then plenty of drivers going for the pro-am, and a couple going for the amateur championship, and the teams championship as well is open. It's been remarkably close. I think the closest World GT championship we've ever had, and we're closing it out here at sunny Imola, a circuit where things can go very wrong. So I don't think we're going to be able to call the champion until the final corner on the final race.
Yeah, I was just here about an hour ago for the Formula Drivers Challenge, so Imola very fresh in my mind at least, and it's a wonderful circuit. Brilliant, legendary corners. You know, it's one of my favourite tracks because it's all named corners. It's all. It just evokes so much emotion from fans and from drivers. It's a brilliant circuit. It's only just over 3 miles long, Sam, but it packs so much into that 3 miles of length. Corners like Acqua Minerale and Rivazza and Tosa, Piratella, some of the most amazing corners, which actually a lot of varying corner types as well, which will test the setup of the car.
Absolutely, it's remarkable how this circuit has been changed over and over again. Chicanes added, chicanes removed, and yet it's almost got better and better as the years have gone by. The chicanes that they have added, particularly at the start of the circuit, are so much fun to drive, and they can have great racing as well. A lot of content will be occurring down at this first chicane, and maybe at Villeneuve as well. We saw a famous 3 wide incident there, which was extremely meme-worthy here at Villeneuve last season. Hopefully we don't see any of that, but no, you're absolutely right. It is a favourite amongst the drivers. Difficult to overtake, though. We've got the much longer pit straight nowadays compared to the chicane that we used to have, so that has opened it up a little bit. However, it's so narrow down at the end of the pit straight, and to go down the outside at that corner as well is very brave. You got to have a lot of trust in your opponent, so it's not going to be easy to overtake necessarily, which could make the reverse grids we have later on for races 2 and 3 all the more interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, while the first sector before the tragic events of May '94 was quite brilliant, it was also very, very it's quite terrifying at the same time, and I think that it was a good decision when they put the chicanes in terms of driving. But as you say, Sam, it kind of meant overtaking was at a premium. That's one of the reasons, I guess, why Formula One left this place, because I think it suits GT3 cars very well. I think it suits slower Formula cars like the F3 cars extremely well. But F1 has outgrown this place slightly, I reckon.
It's now grade 1 circuit. Again, I think it fell to a grade 2 circuit back in 06 when it was dropped. I would personally love to see F1 here. I don't think F1 circuits you necessarily need to have the easiest overtakes in the world. Now, of course, the new regulations will assist with that as well. I think it'd be awesome to come back here. Would much rather go to this place than Monaco. No, bring it on, I think. But yeah, these GT3 cars really do suit this circuit very well. Of course, last season we visited here in the GTEs. Even those cars, I think, are maybe a little bit too wide, if anything. I don't think they're too fast necessarily. Maybe a little bit too wide. These GT3s a little bit more slim, and so the racing should be that much better.
Yeah, and well, looking in at the championship in the pro category then today, that's going to be decided. Chances are it's going to be between Pete Harrod and George McClay. Now, there are other drivers that can win the championship, but those two have a bit of a lead. 17 points separates them at the moment. The SimSports Racing USA car and the Renvale Fitzstein Motorsport car. And then in the Pro-Am category, Mike Horder leads the way. He's got a 75-point lead over Matthew Bunn. Ethan Bass in third, Mike Gray in fourth, and Mike Woodhouse in fifth. And then the AM category, Craig Jones has the advantage. 56-point lead over Lars van Rijn. Carl Jacquelet in third, Matt Draycott in fourth, and then fifth is Kevin Bolland. So a lot to play for, and yeah, it's going to be a great day, I reckon. Great evening's racing.
And whilst we have got plenty of drivers going for the title, I think we've got a few drivers near the front as well who weren't necessarily in the championship. And Josh Thompson is one of them, currently top of the times. Only 1/10 clear, which is remarkably small amount of margin considering the domination that Thompson has had, at least pace-wise, in the past few rounds. Suzuka seems to be about a second lap faster than everyone. Spa as well, he was absolutely crushing the field. Watkins Glen? He won
was
Watkins Glen,
astonishing
didn't he?
at Suzuka.
Yeah,
It was
Suzuka was unbelievable.
mind-blowing pace, consistency. You know, no contact with other drivers. It was a masterclass. The only thing that didn't happen for him was win all 3 races. Now, I think it's very unlikely that anybody could win all the races here today, given the characteristics of the circuit that we mentioned. Now, we're on board with the championship leader, Pete Harrod, as he starts what will be his final qualifying lap, goes through the triple chicane at the Tamburello, and then into the very, very good and quite fast, actually, Villeneuve chicane. Fast part, and then a slower part, and then into Tosa. It's uphill, hairpin. You've got to be very patient to get on the throttle once more. And you're heading now, Sam, into probably the best part of the lap, the Piratella.
Yeah, over the crest. This corner, it kind of sucks you in. There's a little bit of camber on the inside. Can go slightly wide, quite easy to pick up a 1x, but yeah, it is so much fun. Then here, just thread the needle, okay? As much speed as possible, but don't run too wide onto the grass. Big slide for Harrod there, and another big slide as well. Very easy to pick up a 1x as well, and even a slowdown potentially. Watch out for that on the first lap with Giles going basically down this shape. Then you got this little fiddly chicane, which personally is my least favorite part of the track. I think it'd be superb if we could get rid of it and extend this next straightaway. But it is still a fantastic challenge for these guys, and the Rivazzas to end as well can be an overtaking opportunity. Got picked so early because of the elevation drop that you get, and then just need to nail the exit. Once again, easy to pick up a 1x on this on the exit of that corner. Pete Harrod, I doubt this is going to be an improvement for him, because we did see him really struggling through Aqua Minerale seemingly, but across the line goes the McLaren, and it is not an improvement. So 41.5, only 1/10 slower than his best time, but he remains in 4th place.
Yeah, not many drivers actually out there still on a lap. In fact, I think everyone has finished their laps. Oh, maybe Kevin Bolland actually is on one. Yeah, I think he's still on a fast lap. He must have just got over before the checkered flag, and the year 1 car comes to the line. And what does he do? 25th place. He stays 25th, 144.85 that time.
Yeah, he will be starting a little bit further down. Bolland, who, yeah, he's in 5th place at the moment, is Bolland in the Amateur Championship. He could beat Jacob, but the Amateur standings, yeah, Jones and Van Rijn, watch out for them. Pro-Am, Horder, Bunn, and Bass are probably the ones to watch out for. And then, of course, the overall Harrod, McClay, McFarlane, Mangan, and Palmer all have a decent chance. And certainly that qualifying for McFarlane, he's 56 points behind at the moment. That's really going to help him to catch up. That, I mean, he's got to be absolutely faultless today, does McFarlane. But you know, we know that he is capable of getting that points overhaul.
Yeah, indeed. Here's a look at the grid then. Josh Thompson takes another pole position ahead of Ross McFarlane. Oscar Mangan in 3rd, just 2/10 behind. Really, the front 3 showing tremendous pace, really clear of everyone else. Pete Harrod in 4th position, championship leader. Ben Palmer in 5th then, and then Nico Foggy in 6th. Mike Fletcher 7th, and George McClay 2nd in the championship is 8th. Mike Gray is 9th, ahead of Lewis Bibby. Ethan Bass in 11th. Bass, of course, in the hunt for the Pro-Am category. Adam Hedgecock is 12th, and then 13th will be Andy Shield. Simon Underhill is 14th, ahead of Chaz Draycott. Matt Bunn in 16th. He'll be looking for a title here today. sorry, Dennis Melcher in the Ford, 17th. That's good. That's very good in the Ford, actually. Mark Woodhouse, 18th. John Ajus, 19th. Rich Warmingham in 20th. 21st for Michael Blake. 22nd is Stephen McCaffrey. And then Craig Jones, the AM Championship leader, in 23rd place, ahead of Carl Jacquelet. And then Kevin Bolland, Dean Timms, Lars Van Ryn in 27th. Matt Draycott, 28th. 29th, John Roberts. Niall Crowther in 30th. And then we've got a lot of drivers, actually, Sam, at the back of the field who have got, they must have had penalties or whatever. You've got Newman, Evdoka, Horder, Beard, Gregory, Field, Billy Fletcher, Jacobs, Burke, and Chung. There's some fast drivers there. Max Bird is going to be 41st.
Yeah, so they're gonna almost like a reverse grid, isn't it? Before we've even got the race going, but yeah, that's just gonna be penalties, I imagine, for drivers. That might be the place to be though, right at the back of the order. And it is a very chaotic start we get here. It's weird how iRacing on occasion has these weird green flag areas where the green flag comes out really late for some sort of reason. And this place is the epitome of that. The green flag comes out so late around this circuit, and
well, there's
everyone...
2 or 3 finish lines, isn't there?
Yeah.
And I think some series use different ones, and real life uses different ones, and I think that's where the confusion lies. It's like Talladega, isn't it? It's like the start line is so far down that everybody just jumps the gun.
Well, everyone from 20th down will probably think that the green flag's out 5 seconds prior to it, so there could be a big concertina effect. However, it is Thompson's decision when they go. Pace car comes into the pits.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't overtake the safety car before it's fully in pit lane. There it is indeed. So the final round of Season 7 of the World GT Championship is go here on the iRacing eSports Network. Josh Thompson leads them to the green then. There is the green. Mangan having a look. McFarlane already on the outside. He's trying to go round the Irishman in the first corner. Mangan's car bounces across the curbs as he struggles for grip on the first lap on fairly cold tyres. Thompson leads McFarlane, and Mangan getting the elbows out early, Sam.
Yeah, he wants to keep on to that second place, and he's gone a bit deep into Villeneuve, but I think that's worked out for McFarlane. He needs to outscore Harrod if he possibly can, but back comes again his rival, but not quite. So McFarlane stays ahead of Mangan. Harrod in 5th position at the moment, and actually getting 2 places. Nicole Foggy, he was really eager off the start, was Foggy. He almost jumped the start, but he is up 2 places, so a nice start for his Scottish.
Yeah, good run indeed for Foggy through the first few corners then. Likewise for Matt Bunn, who's made up 3 places in his quest for the Pro-Am category. Horder starting at the back will certainly help him. As there's a crash at the Aqua Minerale, and that might be Matt Bunn that's been hit, is it?
I'm not seeing anyone losing significant places. Maybe even been Ethan Bass, who's lost 5 places from his start.
I saw a yellow CQR looking car get hit at the Aqua Minerale, and I wonder if it is indeed Matt Bunn. I think he's dropping down, yeah, so I think it might be, he might have some damage. There's a few cars missing the Variante Alta in the background going across the chicane. The Ferrari then goes into the Rivazza, and that is Ethan Bass then ahead of Matt Bunn. Might be Andy Shield, sorry, ahead of Matt Bunn. But here's the battle for second place. Ross McFarlane then is trying to hang on to P2 by his fingernails ahead of Oscar Mangan. These two are in the championship hunt, Sam. They're just a little bit further down.
Yeah, and of course, whoever finishes will be potential 20th and 21st places that these guys might be starting. Melcher has dropped down. There he is, skated off the circuit. That's the first victim we've seen at that corner, although the tyre marks seem to prove otherwise. He's lost a bit of that car's weight. Bit of damage on the medical car, and he'll be outside the reverse grid now. He rejoins a bit unsafely, and that was Newman coming in, and Melcher with that steering damage, he just couldn't stay to the inside of the circuit.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate for Newman. I think he'd had a spin or something at the beginning of the race. But yeah, Melcher can't steer at all, so I think that's going to be the end of the race for him. That is such a shame after his best qualifying of the season, but that has come to a premature end. Josh Thompson leads away then. 1.5 seconds is the 1.7 seconds is the advantage then over Ross McFarlane, who and Mangan got a poor run at the top of the hill through the chicane, and Nico Foggy in the Mercedes. He's going to have a look at him in the XVR car.
Foggy not really in the championship hunt. He's way down the hill. It's been an incredibly frustrating season for the two-time champion in this series, and he's won in the GT3s. I think twice. I think both of them were in the GT3. So incredibly impressive, but he has been in very good form in recent rounds.
You would appreciate the spec map on that as well, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely looking stunning is the XVR car. I'm loving the chrome words that everyone is doing on the side on the doors of these cars. It's brilliant. Everyone seems to be doing it now. It looks very good. And of course, very accomplished V8 Supercars driver is Nico Foggy. Looks like he's going to win the Euro V8 Supercar Series title as well in a couple of weeks. Yeah. Here is yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I was just going to say how where is Harris currently in 5th place. Remember, second in the championship is McClay. McClay's only in 8th, who has just got past Bibby. They are teammates, so I imagine that was orchestrated. So it's difficult for Harrod at the moment because he's got everything to lose, but at the same time he's currently losing points to McFarlane and Mangan. I wouldn't want to be in his situation, but he's got so much to lose in this round of the championship.
Dean Timms has gone off then. It says he's crashed on the event viewer. He was in 33rd place and he's lost 4 or 5 more spots after that. And look at the state of that Year 1 car there. That looks very second-hand indeed. I wonder how that happened for Timms. But here's Carl Jacquelet going into battle with Craig Jones now. Craig Jones leads the way in the AM category. Lars Van Ryn's in 2nd, but Carl Jacquelet is in 3rd in the champ. Oh, and then it goes Andy Shield off then in the Ferrari, the Sim Sports Racing USA Ferrari. And he's down all the way to 35th place. He was facing the wrong way for quite some time. Our colleague going well, Sam, Adam Hedgecock in 11th place.
I wish I could be surprised, to be honest. Once again, it's fairly me talking about driving, which I think is really helping him out. I must say, hence why this very good performance at the moment. He's and just behind.
I'm sure he's wanting to. I know he enjoys the half chrome, half matte finish there on that boosted Sim Sport car. It looks very nice indeed. Oh no, and that's Craig Jones and Carl Jacquelet. So that's 2 of the AM category contenders who look like they've come to blows on lap 4.
Jacquelet's in 3rd place going into this. He needed a very good round. I mean, to be fair, it was going to be very tough for him to catch up anyway for Jacquelet. But here it was with the incident with Jones, who is the championship leader at the moment. Oh, well,
he was low in the middle of the corner, wasn't he?
And then they get hooked together, and this is something that we've seen so much on Apex TV. I mean, it's being shown on the eSports network. Hopefully that will get iRacing to hurry up fixing it, because this hooking of cars together is I've seen it 3 times in the past week now.
Well, they would have naturally sort of gone that way, I think, anyway. Such as the way that they were colliding and trying to get off the track. But I don't know what you're saying. Kevin Bolland is going pretty well ahead of Mike Horder, and all that is music to the ears and eyes of Lars Van Ryn. And Van Ryn is now he had a slightly poor start. He started in 27th place. He's down to 34th. It's Van Ryn, and we're looking at the Dutchman here under pressure from Niall Crowther. But it does ease the pain for Van Ryn a little bit in terms of his bad start.
And he's not within the reverse grid at the moment. The largest we can get is 30. The smallest is about 16. So
yeah,
you
Matty
need
Drake got at the moment is 30th.
As an amateur driver, you really need to be finishing in the top 25 to at least give yourself a chance, probably top 20, to ensure that you get within the best grid, and then all of a sudden you can score big points. We've got a spin, and that's Bird, and fortunately he's just skated slightly off the racing line, and we've got a couple of other drivers off. That's Field, and I think there's someone else.
I'm not sure who the other one was actually.
Newman? No, wasn't Newman. So
Newman's a bit further back.
Crowther. maybe.
Could have been Crowther, yeah, if that was the... there he is, the Lizard Motorsport car. 34th now. And that's Kieran Chung, who started right at the back. He's up to 33rd, but he does have wing damage, so it's not going to really help the Englishman's charge through the field, but he's going well in the Mercedes. Looking at the battle, there's a good battle going on actually between Fletcher and McClay at the minute for 7th, which is it's not Fletcher and McClay, is it? Oh, it's the one behind. It's McClay, Bibby, and Gray. In fact, actually, they're closing in, Sam, on the battle that we watched earlier on with Harrod and Palmer.
Yeah, 1.4 seconds separating them now. I assume Bibby will be McClay's. Bibby, he was going for the championship himself for much of this season. Speaking of UAV8s earlier on, McClay is second place in that championship. So him and Foggy are very versatile because the supercars are vastly different. This is like Gregory. He's up into 23rd. He's moving past Bolland's hit, almost contact there. Bolland might lose out as well to Mike Horder just behind. Tom Jacobs as well involved in this scrap, and I think there's another driver just behind as well. So Ashley Beard, in fact, catching us to these because we know how quick Beard is, of course. So this will be late.
Mike Horder was the honorary Dennis Melcher last night, wasn't he, in the ARL GT Championship with the Lone Ford GT? In the GTE class, though, this time, as Bolland goes off, and that allows Horder to get the run, and he's going to get the run surely into Biradella. He's got the inside line, and Horder goes through then. He is 79 points ahead of Matt Bunn coming into play today. Bunn is in 14th place, so he's going to lose some points, but he wants that to be a minimal amount, and there's cars off at the top of the hill, or cars slow. Richard Warmingham is one of them, so I'm not sure what's happened to Warmingham, but looks like he's got severe damage. Oh yeah, it's horrendous damage actually. That's worse than that first feared.
The way the point, yeah, that's pulling off to the side of the circuit for Warmingham. Yacolet, sorry, Carl. I mean, Carl actually had to call me up on this. I keep on saying Yacolet for some reason. It's Jacolet. I've been getting that wrong.
Did well the other night.
I did. I messed it up a couple of times, but I will try better. Jacolet looks as though he might lose out to Field. Runs it in deep for Rivata, but Field didn't carry much speed himself through that corner. By the way, the point system we have in the state, first place gets 60 points, and then every position below that gets 1 less point. So that's helpful for guys who aren't very good at maths, because if you finish 10 places lower, you score 10 less points. So try to follow that as the day goes on. We'll try to keep you up to date.
Yeah, we'll try and do the best we can in terms of championship order and things like that. As now Crowther goes side by side with Pete Newman, and Newman, who's recovering from a bad first lap, and then he was forced off the track by the rejoining Dennis Melcher. So it's not raining, it's pouring for Newman at the minute, but he's soldiering on. And Jacolet and Field side by side then into Dozer. They were. Field backed out. Jacolet is through into 32nd position. With just a word for Josh Thompson, he does lead by 2 points. In fact, the battle for second is very close indeed. Now, are they going to try and overtake each other, or are they just trying to catch Josh Thompson? This is going to be the question. Oscar Mangan, pulls out of the slipstream. He tries to get this long cutback. I do enjoy this move. It's the big triple cutback, Sam.
It works really well
going into Villeneuve.
Yeah, that cutback works really well in really high powered to low downforce cars, because well, that's a slow down for Mangan, and that's going to give up that. Boggy is 0.8 of a second behind, so he should be all right. But remember, of course, McLaren and Mangan going for the championship, that would be a 2-point swing if Mangan could get past. I don't think it's really worth fighting it, to be honest, especially seeing that he'll be starting ahead for 82. He may as well just stay behind and bring in the points.
When we're on board with Foggy, and it shows the 9/10 of a second gap, it looks like a humongous gap, doesn't it? When we're on board. But, you know, when you're actually driving the car, it doesn't feel like it's a gigantic gap like that, but it looks monumental to try and close that in when you're actually on board on the roll bar camera, as we are now.
Something
Yeah,
I find.
Thompson's just pulling away steadily. It's 1 or 2 tenths a lap time at the moment.
Yeah, I was just going to say, something I find when driving, when you're chasing another car, you think it's all down to you. You think that the only thing that matters is how well you're driving, rather
Yeah.
than what the driver ahead is doing. And they're thinking the exact same thing, obviously. And you're in this lap time every single time. And you think the gap's going down purely because of inconsistencies of the driver ahead, which may affect you. So Foggy, I don't know what he'll be thinking, but he'll be thinking that he's got to drive absolutely 100% to close that gap, when actually probably his best chance is going to be that makes a small mistake, which brings him back into play. This has been very close to that. Palmer versus Fletcher. Fletcher was leading the championship for the most part in this season. I think he was lead pretty much until I started commentating on the series. Since then, he's not done very well. I will take responsibility for that one. But he's been better last time out at Watkins Glen, and the round we had before that, at a very good Daytona meeting where he gained a lot of place of starting from the back, and he's looking faster than Palm at the moment. Currently 5th and 6th, or joint 5th in the championship, are these two drivers neck and neck on points. So whoever comes out on top in this race will be ahead in the title.
Could he get a run into Aqua Minerale? It's almost impossible to overtake through here. But I think what he's trying to do is unsettle Palmer. Palmer's made a couple of tiny little mistakes. He's missed the line a couple of times in a couple of the medium speed corners, and that's compromised him. He defended a bit of fresh air into Piratella. So that's when you know that the driver in front, you've kind of got him where you want him, Sam, because you know, especially when they start defending fresh air, it does give you a lot of confidence.
It sure does. But I mean, when we were riding on board once again there, it's tricky to think, where am I actually going to pass this guy? But it's such a narrow circuit. I just saw Michael Blake as well drop down from I think it was 17th down to 20th place now. Is Michael Blake? So not exactly what he wanted, but yeah, it seems to be all right again now.
He was off the track for about 5 seconds with Blake, and that was enough to lose a couple of places. Now this is George McClay defending from Michael Gray.
Try to say that quickly. In fact, Gray's got past Bibby, hasn't he? So I was earlier on saying how Bibby's going to be McClay's rear gunner. But he's not done a very good job of that at the moment, because it's now the Pro-Am drive of Mike Gray, who is storming up to the back of McClay, who still has a very good chance at the championship. The points that he's going to lose 3 points to Harrod. That's really not a big deal. I mean, as long as Harrod crashes out of one of the next 2 races, which is, let's be real, a very real possibility, then McClay's right in there. But he doesn't want to finish any lower than 8th, really.
Well, Mike Gray won the 2nd race of the season at the Circuit de Catalunya. So he does have the pace in there. He's been a bit up and down. I mean, just to sum up the up and down nature of his season, that first meeting, race 1 17th, race 2 1st, race 3 44th, and then it's kind of been up and down. He got a podium in Montreal, but that's his only podium, and actually the results have been all right in the second half of the season, a lot more consistent, but not quite hitting the heights in terms of the finishing positions. But you've got to get, oh, that's Ben Gregory. Gregory's off, and that's Aqua Minerale.
Yeah, he managed to escape. Like right there to who starts in 35th place. He could be within the reverse grid potentially for Gregory, which wouldn't be too bad for him. I believe he won a race a few meetings ago. I might be totally wrong.
Who's that, Gregory?
Gregory, yeah.
I will have a look. I've got the standings. I've got the stat sheet. But
we never look at the points. We are incredibly lazy. But now that we got them, we've suddenly
he did
hang
at
on.
Spa.
There you go.
The endurance. Wait a minute.
Endurance layout.
Am I looking in the wrong place?
No, I think that was correct. Yeah. I mean, you just proven me right. So let's be quiet about it now and end it at that. Blake, after that spin out of run, he's now got Burke. Burke's going low. By the way, he's up 18 places now. Is Steve Burke up there with Evdoka? Evdoka's gained 19 places. But Burke's been very good for Team Lizard with only a couple of minutes of this race to go. We've got one more lap after this.
Yeah, it's really flown by so far. Terrific race in many quarters in this one. We'll have 2 more races to go, of course, the final 2 rounds of the season. Josh Thompson's going to get the white flag and he's going to start his final lap of the race. The Williams eSports driver has done a good job so far. 3.5 seconds his advantage over Ross McFarlane in the McLaren, and Thompson well and truly on his way to another victory.
Hasn't quite been the crushing win that we've seen recently from him. I think he put in the YouTube chat how actually his qualifying time, I'm sure he's listening along right now to be honest, but I think he said in the YouTube chat how his qualifying lap was a perfect lap in the Audi. And he was only on pole by 1/10 of a second, so he's not leaps and bounds ahead of everyone. But I think it's just been his consistency in this first race which has enabled him to open up that gap gradually. We'll be very interested to see how he does in races 2 and 3, whether he can have a completely clean evening and
if he makes
try
it
to
to
score a
the
few
end,
extra points.
if he makes it to the end, he will get this will be his 10th win of the season. So
Wow.
very, very impressive indeed for Thompson. And yeah, he changed car mid-season to the one that his team were running, and it's definitely paid dividends. Oh, and that's Van Rijn. Lars Van Rijn on the final, well, just coming to start the final lap. The man who's in contention for the AM category. For the spinning at Rivazza on his own. But Thompson's going to take the win, Sam. He's coming around the final corner.
Yep, here he comes. And yeah, round the Rivazza for the final time. Josh Thompson approaches the line. He's going to take race 1 of the evening in round 15 of the World GT Championship. It's the perfect start for the Manx driver. Second place will be McLaren. That'll help him out in the championship. Mangan in 3rd. And crucially for Pete Harrod, finishes in 5th position. Outscores George McClay, who will hang on for 8th. But that is just the race that's that's a pretty good race for Harrod to score those solid points.
Would you like a good stat, Sam?
I love it. I love a good stat.
It's only Pete Harrod's 5th top 5 of the season.
Wow.
There you go.
It's consistent.
He's got a 4th and a 5th at Interlagos. He got a 2nd at Monza. He got a 5th at Spa. And then this one.
Consistency is key. I mean, I can't remember on many occasions actually where he's retired from races from what I've been watching at least. And if you could just finish in say 10th place in every round of the champion, you would dominate the championship. You think of the point system I was explaining earlier on. You only get if you win the race, you get 60. If you finish 10th, you get 50. So I mean, there's barely any difference.
But if you
there.
retire,
So if
you get none.
finish, exactly. So you know that's he's absolutely nailed it.
So, and I'll just quickly, we've it's easy to do. I'll just read out Harrod's race results from the season because it's very interesting. He's done 12th, 6th, and 19th. That was the first round of the season, and that was his worst meeting of the season. 10th in the second meeting, then 7th, 10th, and 7th, 4th, 7th, and 5th, 6th in the endurance, and then 8th, 6th, and 10th, 6th, 16th, and 2nd, then 7th in the endurance, then 8th, 10th, 6th, 5th, 17th, 10th, 12th, and then 8th, 10th, 6th, and now 5th. It's very, very good consistency. A low of 19, and yeah, everything else somewhere in between. Very good.
If he retired from today and that's lost him the championship, then that would be quite remarkable. But if anyone's going to finish the next 2 races, it's going to be Pete Harrod. And right now, looks as though that's all he needs to do. So we'll see what's going to come up.
McClay's going to be starting in front of him, though. Don't forget, in the next race.
Yep. But now 20 points between the 2 of them. So basically, McClay needs to finish on average 10 places higher than Palmer than Harrod in these next 2 races. So as long as Harrod gets 2 more top 10s today, he's won the championship, we think. As we will go through the final results then from this race one. Josh Thompson wins out. Ross McFarlane in second place. Oscar Mangan finishes in third. Then it's Nick Foggy, points leader Pete Harrod in fifth. There's Ben Palmer, Mark Fletcher, George McClay. Top of the Pro-Ams is Mike Gray, Adam Hedgecock with a strong drive up to 10th. There's Lewis Bibby, Simon Underhill, Michael Adopka getting loads of places to end up in 13th, up 19 places. There's Mark Woodhouse, Chaz Jacob, Matt Bunn, John Juice, Ethan Bass, Stephen McCaffrey, Michael Blake, Steve Burke, Mike Horder, Tom Jacobs, Ashley Beard, Ben Gregory, Andy Shield, Kevin Boland, Craig Jones, John Roberts, Pete Newman, Matt Draycott, Kieran Shung, Carl Jacquelet, Lars Van Rijn, Niall Crowther, and Simon Field. The retirees were Billy Fletcher, Richard Warmingham, Max Bird, Dean Timms, and Dennis Melchert. So, it's time for the penultimate reverse grid wheel of the season.
Yes, and we're going to bring Sam in for that one. And Sam, that was a good race. Hopefully, you can give us a good number for the poll.
Yeah, it was a good one. And let's see, do we also get a good number? So the wheel is spinning. And we get 18.
So 18, it looks like it's going to be Ethan Bass. So he's going to be very, very happy indeed with that one. As he's going to go on to pole position. John Ajuce is going to be second. Matt Bunn will be third. Then Chaz Draycott and Mark Woodhouse. So we'll see how those guys get on when we come back after the break then for the World GT Championship on the iRacing eSports Network. to the iRacing eSports network for...
Welcome back to the iRacing eSports Network. Apologies for that. We're back with the World GT Championship on the eSports Network, presented by Apex Racing TV. My name's Sam Fitzpatrick. Back alongside me is Andrew Woodhouse, and Sam Kume is still on the cameras, and we're just preparing for race 2 of the evening in this season finale. Race 1 was a tight affair with Josh Thompson coming out on top. We spun the wheel, got a reverse grid of 18 drivers, I believe, and so we'll be getting back underway very soon. Just putting in the final couple of laps in practice before we will start to grid up. Of course, the penultimate round of the championship. A reminder, Pete Harrod still leads the championship. George McClay second place. We expect the gap between the two of them is approximately 20 points. So that means that McClay has to outscore Harrod by 20 positions in the remaining 2 races that we've got with McFarlane and Palmer and Mangan still very much in the mix as well.
Now, do I still sound like a robot?
You sound much better now.
Oh, good, lovely. Well, sorry about that, everybody. We're going to come in with the grid. Ethan Bass is going to be on pole then. John Adjuce alongside him, and then Matt Bunn in 3rd, Chaz Draycott in 4th, and then Mark Woodhouse in 5th. Simon Underhill will be 6th with the first of the pros, Lewis Bibby in 7th, and Adam Hedgecock in 8th position. Mike Gray 9th, and George McClay won the championship contenders in 10th. Mark Fletcher 11th, Ben Palmer in 12th, and 13th will be the overall leader, Pete Harrod, at the moment. Nico Foggy's 14th, ahead of Oscar Mangan. Ross McFarlane in 5th, 16th, and Josh Thompson in 17th. Stephen McCaffrey in 18th, and Michael Blake 19th. 20th for Mike Horder, and 21st for Tom Jacobs. Mike Horder leads the Pro-Am category, of course. Ashley Beard in 22nd, Ben Gregory 23rd, and Andy Shield in 24th. 25th will be Kevin Bolland. Craig Johns will be 26th. 27th, John Roberts. 28th, Pete Newman. Then Matt Draycott. Then Kieran Chung. Carl Jacquelet 31st. Lars Van Rijn 32nd. Now Crowther. Then Simon Field. Billy Fletcher. Richard Warmingham. Dean Timms. Dennis Melcher. Stephen Burke. And Michael Evdoka rounds out the grid in 40th. Sam.
Yeah, and we're already getting back underway with the formation lap. Remember, can be a very tricky start here, and actually the field are very spread out. This could be tricky with everyone now having to catch back up to the pole sit before we get underway.
Yeah, this could be quite interesting indeed. Pace car comes in. How long is Ethan Bass going to wait? Is he going to wait until he actually receives the green flag? No, he's not. He's away. The race is on here at Imola, round 2 of the evening. The penultimate round of season 7 of the World GT Championship on the iRacing eSports Network. Andrew Woodhouse, Sam Fitzpatrick, Sam Kumo bringing you the action as Ethan Bass goes into turn 1 and maintains his lead then over Matt Bunn. Bunn in 2nd, Adjuce in 3rd, then it's Draycott, then it's Woodhouse and Hedgecock in 6th.
Yeah, so pretty simple start. Bunn gets past Adjuce, so that'll be good news for him. Once again, that P3 position seems to be a real advantage over 2nd place, just as we saw in race 1 as well. Hedgecock getting ahead of Bibby, so poor start for Bibby. Also, one driver dropping down. Dean Timms and Niall Crowther have both got poor starts. Michael Evdoka started right at the back of the order for some reason. He's already up 5 places today. He started from the pits, I guess, due to a penalty. He's up 5 places at the moment. Foggy up 1 place. McFarlane up to it. Also Thompson up 2. Harrod down 3. Pretty sure.
Yeah, Thompson just got ahead of Harrod, so we see it there. And Mangan's now got ahead of Harrod as well. So Harrod struggling on the first lap. McCaffrey going wide through Piratella as he tries to chase down this group. But all in all, a good start, Sam, and a clean one so far. We hold our breath.
Remember Watkins Glen last week? That feels like a while ago
that had
now.
already gone to hell 2 or 3 times before now, so we're all right.
That was quite remarkable a race where we spent the first 25 minutes under caution with the absolutely massive wrecks. There is Mike Horder trying to move up a few places, and also Michael Blake as well down the inside of the year 1 car of Beard, who started way back, I believe, in race 1, but managed to get himself up, nearly got within the reverse grid. He'll be hoping for a top 15. Billy Fletcher's tied back to the pits. Still, Ethan Bass then leads the way after 1 lap of this Imola circuit. Ben Palmer as well, up into 9th place. He's made really good progress. He's one of the highest place kind of top giants, as Bibby has also got past Hedgecock. Hedgecock paying a tricky start to this lap, and he's also lost out to Ben Palmer as well. He's now up to 8th place, 4 places gained for Palmer.
Yeah, good start by Ben Palmer. Really strong racecraft on display from him at the beginning here. And Ben Palmer is now in 8th position. Simon Underhill having a look at Mark Woodhouse into Tozer. And just behind him is the aforementioned Bibby then. So, lap 2 here, 2.5 minutes gone out of the 20 minutes that we're going to have here as Bibby muscles his way past Underhill then through Piratella. Is Underhill going to fight back into Acqua Minerale? No, he does not. Bibby's through, getting the elbows out, Sam, but that was effective.
Yeah, that was a feisty move into Acqua Minerale. Often there's also a bit of a convention that you don't go for an overtake there, but he had to really go for it. Got to get up these paces quick as Bibby takes loads of curb through the second part of the chicane. That Mercedes should be faster down the straight, however there's just nowhere to go at the moment from Woodhouse, who does leave the inside slightly open, and Woodhouse very early on the straight, fortunate not to make contact there, the two of them. Maybe up into 5th place. This is really good drive from Lewis Bibby. He seemed to struggle in race 1, none of that in race 2.
Woodhouse was kind of tucked in behind Chaz Draycott, 2 or 3 tenths behind him, so he probably didn't want to crash into the Audi. But Bibby's got a terrific run on Draycott as well. What a run by Bibby to start this race. I tell you, he's looking so quick indeed, and Draycott is easy meat on the straight. Then John Adu sets the fastest lap, 142.647 on lap 2. And remember the days, Sam, of some F1 races where lap 2 was the fastest lap and that would remain for the whole race? It probably won't be in this race.
No, probably not. Yeah, once the front runners get a bit of clear air, I think it will help out. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Bibby sets the fastest lap on this one, because he's got a bit of a space now to occupy. Look at this, 2 wide, 3 back. Fletcher in 12th place. McFarlane got past Foggy a few moments ago, or maybe 1 lap ago, and that was quite an important move. However, this is really tricky for him at the moment. Now he needs to try to get past the year 1 car into this corner into Piatella, but
yeah,
hasn't worked out for McFarlane.
Well, the two Fitzstein Motorsport cars then, who really orchestrated that manoeuvre quite well, in fact, so that they didn't collide. But I'll tell you what, Sam, it's great to see the entire field pretty much has made it through the first few laps unscathed. Just Carl Jacquelet and Niall Crowther and potentially Rich Warmingham with some problems, but 36 of the cars are as they were at the beginning of the race, and we're going to have a tremendous 20 minutes if that is the case, because there will be battles upon more battles.
It's taken 7 seasons and 15 meetings, but the guys can drive now. It's phenomenal. We all knew this day was going to come. Here comes Matt Bunn as well. He's the orchestra of all of this, because he is the league head.
No wonder he's doing so well.
Exactly. As he goes past, and he is up into the lead. Remember, the only car out there which doesn't have a 50% power deficit is that Bunn car, but he does run a bit wide, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he slid slightly coming out of Tamburello. His momentum was curtailed somewhat, and I'll tell you what, he does tend to have issues with the BMW in the slow corners, Matt Bunn, so we'll see if he can emerge from Tosa without incident. He does indeed. Bass then will try and get that position back, surely. He wants the lead back. He's going to go up the inside into Piratella. I'll tell you what, it forced Bunn to go slightly wide. Ajus and Bibby. Bibby wants this victory massively. He's really pushing hard to catch this lead group, and he's getting there at a rate of knots.
Something fitting about Bast being at Acqua Minerale. If you cottoned onto that.
You just reeling him in with that one, weren't you?
Really, he was all out at sea in that moment. But no, in second place, he's certainly catching up to Bunn. However, Ajus and Bibby are catching them up extremely quick. Bibby probably is taking about 2 seconds out of them just on this lap alone, and really has a fantastic chance against the BMW, which probably lacking a little bit of straight line speed.
The driver's doing a really good job of tackling this circuit, and but some are making a run for their own back. And are a bit salty about proceedings.
Lovely.
But here's Ethan Bass then, and oh, that was a big slide. Don't see the Mercedes getting out of shape that often. In the hands of the Scotsman, it was a bit leery that time. But here comes Bibi on Ajus, and he says adieu to Ajus, and he's through.
He really couldn't have done that
Oh, he's
move
gone a
any
bit wide.
better. As
Oh, it's a crash.
Hedgehog,
Might have just been light contact that Sam actually.
yeah, I think so. Oh, it's coming back now. It's almost similar to what we saw with Bass on the last lap, trying to come back, and look how close Palmer is now as well. These top 5 really close to one another. Jacob, of course, in 6th place. We've got Joe a long way off. Mark Fletcher, he was having a much better meeting, but off the circuit right there. By the way, not fantastic progress being made by the front runners from race 1. Of course, Palmer is doing very well. He's up into 4th place, but when you're seeing Josh Thompson still down in 15th place, he's only gained 2 places so far in this race. Oscar Mangan in 14th place. Harrod still down 3 places from his start in 16th, but crucially for him, the likes of McClay is only in 10th place.
Oh,
it's
contact
Bass.
with Bass. Well, that'll be another place for McFarlane and Foggy and Thompson and Mangan.
Not sure if that was
And everyone else, if I looked at it.
Another place. But here it was a self-spin.
Oh, just maybe a bit too late on the brakes there, Sam, possibly. Oh! And into Bibi. And now does Bibi have damage that might render his challenge useless? We'll see. Oh, it's quite severe damage.
That looks bad, doesn't it? Oh, that's... I think
wheels
he
pointing
has
in the right
got...
direction.
I think there's a couple of degrees there of damage. I don't know.
What, of off-centered, you mean, on the steering? Possibly. This will be a good one to maybe see. It looks,
maybe it's alright.
Maybe.
It was in
Palmer.
the door, which is a pretty good place to get the damage.
Palmer's only 3/10 behind him though, so I feel that if he doesn't have any damage, he's going to have to get the elbows out, I think, to defend from the McLaren. John Ajus is doing a good job in 4th position, the man from Malta. And Maltese drivers have had a good history in the series over the recent seasons. He's continuing that with a good performance here. Charles Draycott's still going very well in 5th place. He'll be happy with that. But he's kind of the cork in the bottle, isn't he? Draycott ahead of Underhill, then Woodhouse, Hedgecock, McFarlane, and then all the front runners: McClay, Gray, Mangan, Thompson, Foggy, and Harrod. And the the Pro-Am leader Mike Horder's in that group as well.
Yeah, Holder, who didn't get within the reverse grid actually after race 1, whilst his 2 championship rivals did, Burnham and Bass. But of course, Bass having that spin, that's potentially that's probably Bass's championship hopes gone. I think right there.
He's out, I think, mate. Yeah, so I think he's definitely
no point.
Gone.
Oh, there goes Palmer past Bibi, and that is a huge move because these 2 are extremely quick, and Bibi just could not hold him off. Palmer showing exceptional pace.
Yeah, he looked a bit out of sorts in race 1. Did Ben Palmer? He didn't look like he was quite hooking the car up through some of these. He was missing a lot of apexes, things like that. But he's having a great run here, great form it seems in this race. As Thompson trying to force his way through into Tosa. That's an old school Josh Thompson move, is that, which isn't really a great idea, but he's managed to get past Gray. And will he get Adam Hedgecock on the run to Piratella as well? I don't know. He's might try it up the inside. Strong arm tactic. And the McLaren stays on the outside and just about manages to get through there, but that's Josh Thompson's first show of force in this race.
Yeah, maybe feeling like he has to get a move on it. He has had a couple of better laps. He's not up 6 places from his starts.
Sorry, Mangan just got ahead of Woodhouse, I think, as well.
Woodhouse has dropped a couple of places, I believe, on this lap. And of course, next up will be Thompson, so I imagine that will be quite an easy move. We've now got McClay up into 8th place. So currently, McClay is outscoring Had by 7 places, which would bring the gap down to 13 points. going into the last round of the championship. But
and that
McRae would like to gain a few more. He really wants to cut the margin by at least half in this race, saying that he's probably going to start behind Harrod come race 2.
what an outstanding fastest lap set by Ben Palmer there, 141.876. The nearest fastest lap on that lap for anybody was the 142.6 set by Simon Underhill. So he was 0.8 of a second quicker than anybody else, Ben Palmer. Oh, and that's Woodhouse off, and there's Foggy as well, I think.
And Gray.
And one of the Texans cars as well. It might be Jacobs possibly off there. No, it was Evdoka. Oh no, it's Evdoka coming through. So I'm not sure that will be... I have no idea. I've genuinely no idea. Yeah, Gray's in trouble.
Gray seemed to be the first one off. I think there were kind of two different incidents because I saw Gray was off way before any of the others. He goes to the outside of Hedgecock and just outbreaks himself and almost goes into the back of Woodhouse. And it's a totally separate incident then with Woodhouse getting with Foggy, I think.
I think, and I could be wrong, we might need to see another angle of it, but I think that little tap on Woodhouse set maybe unsettled the rear of the BMW, maybe sent him away. But we might be able to see it actually here if we just go back a little bit further. I think we're going to be able to see. Yeah, he just went on his own, and then it's Hedgecock that goes into the back of Woodhouse, and then Foggy just hits the back of Hedgecock. So it's a chain reaction really there.
Change for the lead as well. Oh, that's a
point. That's a big send.
And
he's getting mugged a little bit there by Evdoka.
Yeah, 20th place now for Evdoka, and Foggy trying to recover as well. Palmer though leads this race. He's up 11 places from his start now. Is Ben Palmer. He got past Matt Bunn. Lewis Bibby trying to go with him. That's a tight 1-2-3 at the moment. Just wondering if Foggy will be able to get past Beard. He does, so no first chicane issues on this occasion. Oscar Mangan, by the way, stellar lap that time, 41.5, actually completely matched by Josh Thompson, both to the 100th, evenly
Palmer's
matched on one another. Yeah, Palmer took the lead about a lap previously, and got past Bunn.
Did I miss it?
we didn't see it. No, I did mention
it.
Okay. In passing.
Oh dear, there was me thinking I was completely like, I completely missed something very, very important. And so there we go. Matt Bunn is now side by side with Bibby into Marianne Tauter, and that's a move that he's done very often round the outside, especially. Good move there by Lewis Bibby. Now he's going to try and set off after Ben Palmer, if indeed he can set off after him. Ajus is very close to these two as well. Oh, and a bit of a mistake for Bibby there, I think, going into Rivazza. Maybe just slightly twitchy on the braking, and Bunn nearly got through, but they've managed to survive. And Thompson is now going to clash with Chaz Draycott.
Yes, so Thompson, McLaren now with the fast lap race. They're all going for the fast lap at the moment.
Draycott lets him through. I'm thoroughly disappointed, Chaz. Thoroughly disappointed.
That was all quite... well, actually, no, sorry, that's Bunn coming back at Bibby. I thought that was Bunn easily let him pass Bibby as well, but no,
yeah,
got past about half a lap ago. And round the outside goes Bunn, gets to the inside for the second pass. There's too much curve play. Now he gets a tap as well, and Juice is getting right in this. McFarlane is going to go down the inside of Juice. Looks as though Bunn will be able to hang on to that place, but it's a very tight exit, and he hasn't got the straight line advantage down this next straight. So going into Piatella, there could be a change of position round the outside. Oh, we can see a third round the outside move. We are going to see one, and Bibby moves back up into second place.
The BMW showed no disadvantage on the straight line that time, though. Very neck and neck with the Mercedes. Mangan then goes through on Ajus, who's, to be honest, has been the one who's come off the worst out of all that. He hasn't really done anything wrong. He's found himself losing a couple of places. And Chaz Draycott, Josh Thompson now having a look up the inside, and he absolutely flies up the inside into Marianne Tauter, does Thompson, and he is up into 6th position. And this is what happens, isn't it, Sam? the initial stages when they're all around the same pace, it's very difficult to make overtakes. But as soon as anything gets slightly strung out, people like Thompson and Mangan and Palmer, you know, they managed to get the really put the hammer down and make their experience count and make the pace count.
Yeah, of course, that's the other race. Everyone's kind of got the draft on one another, and it's kind of more about position, whereas now it's much more about pace, as there goes McFarlane, finds a McLaren whip on the inside of the track and moves past Bunny. That's a bit too much space there. Now Bunn might be overtaken from Mangan as well, and Thompson is romping up to the back of these drivers as well. This is a similar situation for Bunn as last time. Oh, he's gone off the circuit though. And where is he going to rejoin the circuit? Oh, that was pretty tight. And he's going to pick up a slowdown as well. This race quickly going south for the former race leader.
Yeah, and Thompson and Mangan were very, were quite lucky, to be fair, that he didn't go any further across than he did. Simon Underhill's now in the top 10 in 10th. George McClay and Pete Harrod, well, what's the gap? It's only 3 places. So this championship going the way of Pete Harrod at the moment. Of course, we've still got one more race to go. Anything can happen, but he's only going to lose 3 points as it stands. And the juice now, as Matt Bunn trying to recover some of the lost ground, Sam, is he's coming in for a movement. He's been hit. He's around. And of course, traction control on these cars means that turning it around is more of a supermarket car park job than anything flashy. And we're talking about supermarket car park when it's full and not when it's empty at night, where the chavs go.
Exactly. By the way, anyone who is meeting up with me later on at Lidl, yeah, I'll be there in a couple of hours.
I spilled my drink all over the microphone.
Sorry about that. Matt Bunn, once again, spending off the inside. So actually, Bunn's not doing too... Well, he's only dropped a few places. He's down into 6th. McClay can't get past McClay. At least he wants to maximise the result, basically, and get 6th place, and then just hope that something happens to Harrod in race 2. As you said a moment ago, of course, only 3 points gained for McClay at this point. In fact, only 2 points gained now, because all of a sudden Harrod's storming up the odds. He's gained about 7 places in the past 5 laps.
Well, yeah, and the thing is as well, Sam, is that with the demise of Bass, every position counts for Matt Bunn. He's not going to take the championship off of Horder. It's very unlikely, but he could put a big gap between he and Ethan Bass for the final round. He wants the 2nd place.
So going into this round of he's not going to catch up to Horder. I think Horder. There goes Mangan. Contact.
Contact.
And there goes Thompson. Gets past as well.
As he engages the cloaking device. Nobody saw me. We all saw you. And Thompson, 4th position. The front 4 have done a great job in this one, Sam. Honestly, I mean, Palmer up 11th place from where he started, then McFarlane up 14, Mangan up 12, and Thompson up 13.
And that is the checker flag. That is the finish of the race. 13 laps completed. It really came up on us very quick. And it's Ben Palmer who wins out. But can Harrod get a crucial point against Draycott? Yes, he can. He beats Draycott by a 1/10 of a second across the line. And that is only 1 point lost, as Beard as well is extremely close against Newman. He didn't get Newman. It was down to a thousandth of a second. It was...
well and truly urinated on George McClay's bonfire as that one, hasn't it? It's made all that effort from McClay, and he's only gained a point.
So he needs to outscore him by 19 points in the final race, we believe.
It's going to be very tough.
Although I say that, even if he retires from the last, even if Palmer retires from the last, not Palmer, even if Harrod retires from last race, this might be his drop score anyway. So he might actually, he may have already won the title. We're not sure, but hopefully he scores good points in the last race so we can be absolutely certain of it.
Yeah, we're going to go on the highest possible points, sort of what we've got here. to make it as easy as we can. I think as we can get. Yeah, we'll do our best. Ben Palmer wins the race by 3.3 seconds then over Ross McFarlane. Oscar Mangan third, Josh Thompson in fourth and fifth for Lewis Bibby. Matt Bunn won the Pro-Am category in the end after some adventures in sixth. George McClay seventh and Pete Harrod eighth. Ninth for Chaz Draycott and Simon Underhill in 10th. And Hedgecock 11th ahead of Stephen McCaffrey. Mike Horder was 13th ahead of Mark Fletcher. Michael Evdoka in 15th and 16th for Michael Blake. Wayne Gregory was 17th ahead of Nicole Foggy, who had a crash. Ash Beard in 19th, Pete Newman 20th and 21st for Tom Jacobs. John Ajuice in 22nd ahead of Mark Woodhouse. Kevin Bolland won the AM category in 24th ahead of Craig Jones, who has pretty much sealed things over there in the AM category ahead of Michael Gray. And then Andy Shield in 27th, Matt Draycott 28th, Steve Burke 29th, Kieran Chung 30th, Lars Van Rijn, who was fighting for the championship, 31st, Dean Timms 32nd, John Roberts in 33rd ahead of Rich Warmingham, and they were the last cars who actually finished on the lead lap, and the ones who didn't finish at all, Ethan Bass, could be the title over for him, Dennis Melcher, Simon Field, Carl Jacquelet, Niall Crowther, and Billy Fletcher.
By the way, we've been told by Dan McCauley in all of his wisdom, you can't drop the last round of the championship. Obviously, we were just saying before how much easier it would be.
Good.
And you can't drop it, so Harrod can still lead the championship. Anyway, the reverse grid is coming up, and for the last time, Sam, you're going to spin the wheel, and there's decent gaps as well between these seasons, so really make the most of this one, because we're going to have to tuck this away for a little while.
Yeah, last time, well, what would it be if it's actually no reverse?
We haven't had that all season, have we?
Yeah, it's an option, but we haven't had that.
Please.
Oh, it's a close, but we just passed over it.
Oh.
24.
24, and that should put Kevin Bolland on pole position, I believe. And so the AM driver is going to be starting on pole. Mark Woodhouse is going to be second. He was fifth in the last race in on the grid. John Ajuice is going to get another chance in third. And then fourth will be Tom Jacobs. And fifth will be Ash Beard. So please join us after the break when this championship will conclude season 7 here on the iSports. We'll do that again. Try that again. We'll edit that one out. Season 7 of the World GT Championship will conclude when we return on the iRacing eSports Network.
Welcome back to the iRacing eSports Network and the World GT Championship. For the last time, we are introducing ourselves for this Season 7 of the World GT Championship, because this is the final race of the season, round 15, race 3. And we've got a couple of championships to decide. I'm Sam Fitzpatrick, back alongside me is Andrew Woodhouse, Sam Kumo on the cameras. We're just preparing for the final race of the season. Woody, Harrod with a big advantage. He's barely retired from a race. I don't think he has retired from a race all season long. And all he needs to do is keep up that, and he is the champion. But there is so much at stake here. As we may have lost Woody for side mirror, which is a fantastic start to this dramatic race. On pole position, however, after we reverse the grid, it's Kevin Bolland. Mark Woodhouse is in second place. Then it's John O'Juice, Tom Jacobs, Pete Newman, Ashley Beard, Nicole Foggy, Ben Gregory, Michael Blake, Michael Avdotka, Mark Fletcher, Mike Horder, Stephen McCaffrey, Adam Hedgecock, Simon Underhill, Chaz Jacob, Pete Harrod. Watch out for him. 17th place. Just needs to finish in the top 19 places, and we believe he is champion. Simon Underhill starts in 15th. I've gone forwards. McClay starts in 18th. He's his main championship rival. Then it's Bunn, Bibby, Thompson. He'll be dangerous from 21st. Mangan, McFarlane, Palmer, race winner from race 2, of course. Then it's Craig Jones, Mike Gray, Andy Shield, Matt Draycott, Kieran Shung, Lars Van Rijn, Dean Timms, John Roberts is going to be starting from the pits in this race, Richard Warmingham, Ethan Bass, Dennis Melcher, Simon Field, Carl Jacquelet, Billy Fletcher, and Steve Burke. Let's round out the 40 car field for the final time this season.
Testing?
All good?
Good. Just checking. Hello, everybody. Back once again. And I'm so excited for this race. It's going to be great. It's like the end of season feel, the end of term feel, as they say. And who's going to be top of the class, Sam?
Yeah, let's find out the fourth championships to decide here. And it's Bolland from the pole, the only amateur driver within the reverse grid.
Right then, let's see what he can do. He's going to have the honour of leading us to the green for the final time this season, and he gets a great start in the BMW. Brilliant job by Bolland to get a great jump off the line. Green flag flies. You can see the flagman's absolutely going for it in the race control stand, but Bolland leads into the first corner. O'Juice and Woodhouse side by side into turn 1. I think O'Juice is he's around, and Woodhouse is around as well. And there's carnage in the midfield. A couple of cars, the drivers, I think, Sam, did very well to actually get on the brakes and avoid it.
I think the force of the first couple of cars coming in push a couple of drivers off, and now we've got another big crash as well.
Bass, I think, is in that one. Maybe Field, maybe a couple of others.
Newman back to the pits.
There was an XBR car off in the
Foggy.
gravel. Foggy out. Oh man, well, it's not gone well for him.
Harrod up
Kevin
2 places,
Bolland,
by the way, up into 14, so he's got through it all very cleanly. Where is
Kevin Bolland leads by 2.5 seconds halfway around the first lap, Sam.
Mega so far? Ben Griggy, you can see him up there in 6th place, up a couple of places. Mark Fletcher has gone from 11th on the grid to 3rd now on the track. That says 5th, but 2 drivers have towed back to the pit, so incredible start for Fletcher. Has got some damage, but he's looking very good. Oh, we got Avdotka and the big. Oh.
And that is at the very anti-alta. Oh dear. Well, I said end of term, there's usually some shenanigans. Oh, and contact, Woodhouse hits, so it's Blake, it hits Gregory into Rivatsa, bounces across the grass, does Gregory. He still maintains the, Gray has spun in the background, it's all going wrong. Quite a few people, but mercifully, Sam, not for our championship contenders, thank goodness.
Not at the moment, but that shows the danger. So many drivers being whittled down in this first lap or so, but at the moment, the main championship rivals are getting their way through it. Mangan up 11 places. It's gone up half the order, up into 11th place now. Barn up
That's
9
terrific.
places as well. Thompson gaining some places. Thompson's just got past Palmer's. Off the circuit is McCaffrey.
McCaffrey.
And that's an unforced
Oh,
error. I
Newman!
think from McCaffrey.
Newman's
And
around.
Newman's off the circuit.
I thought
And
it
he's
was
picking
Draycott,
up
sorry.
Palmer.
Sorry, it was Draycott. It's not Newman, it's the same looking car. It was Chaz Draycott.
Palmer went
Ended
off
up
with him.
Oh, everybody needs to be careful. This is the thing, Sam. We're seeing some drivers who are being very, very cautious out there, and we're seeing some who are just going hell for leather. Dennis Melcher in the Ford, he wants positions, and he's got one on that.
Oh,
Crowder
Shield.
and the car in the wall. Andy Shields Ferrari in the wall, and I don't know whether it's a low grip condition out there or what. You know, drivers are really struggling with the temperatures at the start of this race. And Kevin Boland's lead has been whittled down to nothing, I think.
Jacobs takes the lead.
Oh,
there's
bang!
no contact.
Take that! Tom Jacobs is through, but I think he's out. I think he's damaged. Mark
Well,
Fletcher away.
Could be waiting. That's very excessive waiting.
Oh.
So Fletcher into the lead. Well, he's not going to win the title, Fletcher, but this might soften the blow slightly as Jacobs is back going. Oh, I think that's coming. That looks a bit weird. No, it's fine. He was just waiting.
It's just bad. I mean, it looked bad, didn't it? It looked like a very hard hit. Wouldn't have surprised me if he had broken suspension. Oh, McCaffrey and Gregory have gone off, and there they are, look. In the gravel trap. Gregory's continued. McCaffrey now decides he wants to continue, but it's all kicking off here. Fletcher leads, Hedgecock's in second, Underhill's third, Mike Horder, who's the champion-elect in the Pro-Am categories, up into fourth. Pete Harrod, who's the champion-elect in the main categories, in fifth.
Yeah, Harrod still around some drivers. Basically, he's got Horder just in front of him. Does Harrod? Surely nothing will happen between these two. Honestly, I'd love to know what his motives are. Hopefully we get an interview with him later on, providing that he does win the title. Because and Hedgecock's dropped it. Oh, I wish I could say I was
spun,
right.
Matt spun. Oh, Matt spun. Oh dear. What a shame. Dean Timms and Ethan Bass have ended up going back to the pits. They look like they're out of the race. Dennis Melcher's getting 15 places in that 4GT, or the Taki Inui repelling device. As we said last week, here's Mike Gray trying to make some of these positions back. He's trying to get Niall Crowther and Woodhouse.
So the top three is now Fletcher. Underhill is somehow in second place, and Horder up into third. So we've got two of the championship winners, most likely, up in the top four at the moment. Jones is doing terrific. Jones is up into 13th now.
Yeah, he's just taking Gregory as well. So
Gregory with damage,
Jones,
we think.
Yeah, we think. But Jones still making great moves. Matt Draycott is up 16 places. Stephen Burke, 29 positions gained for him. That is exactly what you want to see if you are Steve Burke. Josh Thompson's up to 6th, Oscar Mangan's up to 5th. They managed to get through it well. Fletcher leads by 4 seconds, Sam. Absolutely laughing. There he is. Said goodbye to everyone else. He got a bit of damage. He did get, he did plough into the spinning car on the second lap, didn't he? But that was so he has sustained some damage, but it's not going to be too severe, I don't think.
Probably best to go back to Harrod because he's in 4th place now, so he's got Mangan and Thompson on his tail.
Why?
I mean,
now,
you got to lift off
and let
them
the title
go.
anymore, are they? Yeah.
Well, Mangan could still win it, I think. Well, he'd have to, like everyone else, would have to spontaneously combust.
Yeah, the apocalypse would have to take place. But...
Exactly. But
although it's 2020, so who knows?
Exactly. That wouldn't be the worst thing that's happened this year. Surely surely Howard's got to slow down here and let these guys go because
I feel like if anyone goes up the inside of him, though, I think he'll yield.
yeah,
Makes sense.
I mean that's what he's done all season. To be fair, he's defending. Oh, he's gone past. He's got past.
He just made an overtake on Horder.
Yeah,
So there you go.
best form
No,
of
I think
best form of
somebody-
attack. Sorry,
No, best form of attack is it? No, exactly.
no, best form of defense is attack. So yeah.
That's it.
Oh, there he goes.
Thompson goes for a move. The inside. It just makes sense, though, doesn't it, Sam? If it makes sense for Harrod, if somebody shows the nose, don't fight it. What he'd be best doing, I'll be honest, is if Thompson gets past him, just sit behind Thompson and follow him. He's got the pace to follow these two. He'll probably tag along. He might get it bubbly at the end. You never know.
He's got some. He's got Hedgecock behind him, who I doubt will catch up to this chain by the end of the race. So I think that'd be quite a safe position as long as he drops behind these couple of jobs. He probably wants to be ahead of Horder. To be fair, Ross McFarlane, by the way, on that last set, the fast up the race, up 14 places. Is McFarlane 42.3, outlapped these guys by a second.
I think Adam Hedgecock's going to be disappointed with the mistake he made when he was running in the top 5. But still a solid position. He's still guaranteed pretty much top 10. Looking at his track position at the moment, Ross McFarlane just set the fastest lap, 42.31.
Just wondering with Fletcher, his lap times are quite slow. He's doing 43.3 on that last lap, did Fletcher.
Oh,
We know that Thompson and Mang can go a second a lap faster than that. And we've got a lot of laps to go, so it's not looking good for Fletcher. I thought this win was in the bag, but he needs to lap half a second faster than he is at the moment if he's going to
He's lapping
repel
the same
the Irishman.
speed as... He's only lapping a couple of tenths slower than Thompson and Harrod and this lot here. Although in fairness, I think Thompson made the overtake, didn't he, on that lap? So we'll see. We will
get the
see.
fancy graphic, the gap over time. I love to see that. I don't think we see it too much in the series because there's too much going on.
Yeah,
we might be able. Here we are.
Well, I think it's yeah.
Not very insightful. It just looks like someone's being rude to us.
We'll have to come back in 2 or 3 laps, I think, with that one. And then we'll get a good picture and see, because Mangan's only just got up in 2nd place, hasn't he? So it's going to be interesting to see. It didn't look like the damage was too bad for Fletcher, so we'll see whether he's got anything in reserve. 10 minutes, 3 seconds. It's not a bad lead. Not a bad lead. It'd be interesting to see Mangan's lap time now. He's had a fully clear lap. It could be in the 41s. You never know. Ben Gregory's crashed, and there he is indeed in the gravel, and that's not the place you want to be.
I don't know why there's a bit of tarmac on that.
In fact, no, it's tarmac, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know why that is tarmac. It's almost as they know that someone's going to spin up the tyres and spin at that corner, because it does happen a remarkable amount of the time.
Oh, there you go, Sam. 141.72 for Mangan. That's a big lap. Fletcher 143.3. Oh, it's on now. It certainly is.
I think this might be quite routine, to be honest. I mean, once he gets there, he'll be there. Thompson
loses it. Oh.
That was mighty there. Gosh.
And that will have been the old one wheel on the grass in Villeneuve, as Underhill now trying to take Harrod. And he's having a look into Piratella. He can't get that one done.
That was how getting past Underhill.
Was it? Oh, sorry.
At least recently. Maybe it's Underhill trying to come back now, but expect the McLaren to pull away. He's looking at a 4th place, which would be one of his best results of the season. This might be Harrod's highest point scoring race of the season. So round off his championship.
That was 2nd place.
Okay, but across a meeting,
round.
I'm not sure if he's done any better than this.
I'll just check. I've got the list stats.
Well, really nice battle further back with Melcher. It's a 5-car 5-car train with Melcher in 17th, and it's Warmingham, and Blake and Jacobs and Gray. I assume Bolland, who remember was leading for a bit, might be able to catch up to these guys, but I think he's got a bit of damage on that car. Here comes Gray down the hill, and he boomed down the inside. No, there's not, and he almost outbrakes himself. And now he
he's
gets
been hit.
a little bit escorted off the circuit by Jacobs.
Jacobs has been in the wars in this one. Harrod's best race meeting, I think, was in terms of points was Interlagos, a 4th, a 7th, and a 5th.
Okay.
So he's on course for similar.
What, 5th and 9th, 5th, 8th, and now 4th?
Yeah,
It's
similar.
pretty close.
As Warmingham gets past Michael Blake into. In fact, no, that's Blake attacking, isn't it? This is McFarlane attacking Adam Hedgecock. McLaren versus McLaren. Fitzstye versus Boosted. Nicely done there by Ross McFarlane. Up into 7th place. It's only 4/10 for the lead now. And I don't think Fletcher's going to have anything here for Mangan. He might try and he rightly should try to defend. But his straight line speed, he's got no straight line speed, Sam.
Yeah, I'm just hoping they holds him up long enough so that Thompson can get involved in this, but this should be really easy down this next straight. Mangan drops a little bit back, 3/10 to a second, but here comes the overspeed. Oh, so he's got DRS, isn't it?
If I was Fletcher, I'd have squeezed him against that pit wall, made him lift. But look at that. This is the thing, there's nothing wrong with Fletcher's car in the corners. There's nothing wrong with his driving, ladies and gentlemen. He's just simply, that aero damage, you can see it there. It's acting like a parachute almost on the front of that Mercedes AMG. And it just means that he can't get the straight line speed that he needs to fight against, let's face it, a former World Championship driver in Oscar Mangan.
Should still finish on the podium, Fletcher. Thompson will catch him past him. Then he's got Harrod, but Harrod's not lapping that fast. Hedgecock's off the circuit for the 2nd time in this race. Oh, and that's into the wall as well. Fortunately, there's a massive gap. A chasm, as Adam would be very fond of that word. But he does slot back into 12th place. Billy Fletcher, good job from Fletcher, because Fletcher is up 28 places in this race. Burke up 30 places. Burke, remember, also gained 20 places in race 1. So undoubtedly he's gained most places today.
Bit of a shocking meeting, actually, by his standards, which have been pretty decent over the last couple of seasons. But yeah, not a great way to... well, a good way to finish the season. It wasn't a great meeting for him up until this point, but if he carries on, we get some good points. But Mike Gray's out, I think, sadly. But yeah, it's only 1.1 between Mangan and Fletcher still. Fletcher's lap times, I will say, Sam, given that straight line speed deficit, his lap times are very good considering, but he's still faster than everybody pretty much but these two. Which is a very good achievement, really, considering that, like I say, somebody's literally put the windbreak out of the front of the car.
Yeah, he's in the 42s actually on that last lap. That's a good effort from Fletcher. I think that's his personal best lap of the race. Mike Gray is dropping down.
I think he was out anyway.
Yeah, he was. I think.
We can talk back to the pits. Might be him emerging from the pits, possibly. Who knows? Thompson then in the Audi, stalking Fletcher. And where and when can he get this move done? I don't think he'll have anything for Mangan, not at this point, not with a nearly 2.5 second lead.
Usually we get to 13 laps, but it can't be 13 laps. It'll be 12 laps for this race, so we'll get 2 more in after this one. There goes Thompson, but very little room. It's tricky, this situation. He knows that he's going to get past, but it's just about kind of doing it the quickest method possible, I imagine, for Thompson. But he's going to have to wait until the next lap.
Doesn't want to crash into him either. Let's face it, because he definitely won't win the race then. He probably won't win the race as it stands, but he'll certainly be throwing his chances in the bin if he makes a mistake and hits him. Ross McFarlane's just set the fastest lap, actually, 141.51. He's down in 7th place, but he's up from 23rd on the grid, so good performance by McFarlane as Thompson goes past Fletcher, who, like I said, can't really fight him at all. Not his fault, really. What happened? He got caught up in the accident of other people. And I wonder, was that Mangan's car that we heard just sliding its way through Tamburello?
Could have
Pushing
been,
hard,
but
it's the
he
Irishman.
didn't leave. Oh,
Oh!
that's another side. That was a Thompson, wasn't it? As
Wow,
Thompson
that's it.
again dips the wheel onto the gravel. Just shows how hard he got to push the cars around this track. Down to 3 seconds. The gap. It would take a big mistake now from Mangan to lose this race. I think McFarlane's just got past Horder. Remember, Horder is going to win the Pro-Am Championship, so I think he will be quite happy just staying behind. It's always nice to win the championship when well, when you've got a car around you rather than
Finishing the
in the
race.
pit. Yeah, it's a nice perk, safe to say. And everyone seems to be doing that. Where's Craig Jones? Craig Jones doing really well in 16th place. 2nd place out of the amateurs, but he wants to finish top of the amateurs. He wants to get past Jacob.
Yeah, it's been impressive from Craig Jones this season. He's just got his head down. He's done what he needs to do. And he has engineered a really good championship, actually, in the SCC Racing Ferrari. We haven't seen many Ferraris on the grid this year, but one of them is going to win a championship.
And that SCC team growing in drivers. They're putting a few cars to the ARL GT Championship, and certainly are an expanding team. So keep your eyes out on them. Hopefully, we'll see a few more of those cars for next season.
Yeah, we saw them last night on the channel, indeed. So Matt Draycott, who I will say has also been very impressive in his season in this AM category. Let's see if Jones can get this move done then, see if he can take the lead of the AM category as we are coming on to the final lap at Imola. And the final lap of the World GT Championship season here on the iRacing eSports Network. We're really glad that you can be with us here on this Monday evening to enjoy this GT racing. Let's see what Craig Jones can do.
Melchert's coming behind, isn't he? Melchert's on that last lap, outlap these guys by 7/10, so if they start battling, might be able to pick up a couple of places right at the end.
Like I say, don't underestimate Dennis. He's very quick. I think people look at the car and they see a car that's 2 to 3 seconds a lap slower than the fastest ones out there. But as a driver, Dennis is about as good as you can get in touring cars and GT machinery. But he's definitely handicapped by the car. But it's Oscar Mangan then, coming round Rivazza for the final time. Oh, he goes off and he nearly loses it, but he's going to come through and he's going to take the win here. The final round of season 7 of the World GT Championship goes to Oscar Mangan. Well, congratulations to him. Josh Thompson's going to get 2nd place. It's going to be a little bit of the bubbly for Mark Fletcher, and he deserves it. Here's a good battle then over the line. Pete Harrod is going to be the drivers' champion in the pro category, but nearly a dead heat over the line between McFarlane and Underhill there, Sam, and I think it was just Ross McFarlane.
Great drive from McFarlane, but
It's
what a
Craig
drive
Jones
from Pete Harrod, as also Craig Jones then for IPH line. He wait to finish top of the amateur drivers in the final race of the season, but he will finish top of them in the championship. Craig Jones, your bronze class victor, and in the Pro-Am championship as well, we'll have Mike Horder winning out with another good drive from Horder as well to finish out the season.
Should definitely try and get a look at Mike Horder as he's going around on the cool-down lap, if we can, because he's deserved what we believe is going to be his title in the Pro-Am category. And a decent race for Horder to finish. Started in 12th, finished 7th. Didn't want to do anything extraordinary or dangerous, which is fair enough. And Yeah, we've got some great champions here, Sam. It's been a really excellent season, I think.
All of them make it consistent. I mean, that's been the story of this season. I think it's been the story of this season more than ever. Of course, I've only really watched the races from the halfway point. But all the front runners have been so evenly matched. If you can get that extra race finish compared to your rival, that is absolutely huge. And the fact that Harrod pretty much went the whole season without a retirement, like 35 races or something. That's mad to have so few retirees. So that is a very well-deserved championship. I think Pete will confess, not the fastest driver. He hasn't won a race all season, but he's won the title, and that's what matters.
This is about the third or fourth title that I've seen Pete Harrod win on our channel. He's won. He was a two-time champion in the club series when we used to run that league on our channel. I raced against him in that, and he was very good then. And again, he was Mr. Consistent back then as well. He was very quick. He was one of the fastest drivers, but he took it by great results. And then he moved into the BSRTC and the ARL TCR, and he's built himself up over the years to become a really top line driver in any car that he races, and he certainly deserves this one. Mike Horder, the Welshman. Terrific season. I'd never really seen him before this year, and you know what? He started the season really badly. Actually, he's pretty badly the first few races, but after that, he just put together a slew of really sort of good, consistent results between the 10th and 20th places, and for Craig Jones, who took the AM category, well, he did a great job all year round. His average finish, this is how you win the titles, really. His average finish was 25th, but he only DNF'd, I think it was once on a three. Okay, he had 3 DNFs only, but that's still a really good, really strong performance. And I probably expect him, Sam, to potentially move up into the Pro-Am category next season if there is. Well, I'm sure there'll be another season, but when we get that confirmation, I'm sure Jones will be fighting in the higher category.
Yeah, I think so. I think everyone else in the amateur category would be very pleased about that one. So yeah, he'll be promoted. Also, yeah, once again, a word for Mike Horder. I mean, I first came across Mike in the ARL GT Championship where he won the he won the GT3 overall championship on a run to the line at Daytona. Literally won it by maybe a few hundredths or a second. This time a lot more comfortable at the last round of the championship. But he's just showing himself to be a mega consistent driver, and I think he'll be one to watch as well, and he gets promoted inevitably as well next season.
All right, well, that's all for the racing this season here on the iRacing eSports Network in terms of the World GT Championship. But we have got some interviews. Now, I do want to see, I might want to wait another minute or so, Sam, just to see if we can get one of the class winners to actually come and speak to us first. It would be nice to get one of the champions.
Might be worth having a chat with Andy, because I think Andy actually, or maybe Matt Bunn, perhaps.
Actually, yeah, he's a league admin, so we can get him. We can get him in. I'm just going to move him about so he's not swearing or anything on the.
I mean, would make a change. Hey.
Just in case. There you go. Right, here's Matt Bunn in the commentary box. Matt, can you hear us, mate?
Yeah, I can hear. I don't know if you want to put Andy in. My
yeah, let's do it.
Partner in crime.
Well. Another really successful season in the World GTs. This is possibly the closest season that we've had in quite some time. Just give us your thoughts on the season, and if you, I mean, both of you, with Andy as well, if you want to sort of just take us through how you're feeling about it and what you enjoyed.
I think, we're just coming on leaps and bounds from sort of season 1. Yeah, just another good season. We tinkered a little bit with the points and bonus points. Obviously, every season we sort of look at the rule book and see. Well, we try not to change things too drastically, but we try and make small little tweaks here and there to sort of improve things, and one of them was the sort of point system with the bonus points and various aspects of the points. And yeah, it turned out all right. It sort of brought the grid a lot closer between each of the 3 tiers. Made it exciting going up to the last race, because I think all 3 championships sort of, I think this is probably the first one that went decided before the last race of the season. There's several people sort of fighting for each of the championships. So, another really good season.
Yeah, and I think just to echo that, first time we'd run a 3-tier kind of categories for the Pro, Am, and Am, and we were really happy with how the drivers have responded to it, and I think actually it's kept a lot of people interested for longer, which is ultimately what we wanted to kind of drive. But yeah, we're just, personally, I'm just really happy that it's gone down to pretty much to the wire, and the amount of twitchy bums from both Pete and George who've been phenomenal all season. Shout out to those guys. I haven't seen who's won the Pro-Am yet, but or the Am. I just know that was the fight that we were kind of stuck in the middle of. But we've had great races all season. We've had a couple of ones where there's been a few interesting moments, but with anything in racing, things can happen. But the racing in the main has been fantastic. Yeah, makes a change.
Well, I can tell you that Mike Horder won the Pro-Am category, we believe, and Craig Jones took the Am category. So big congratulations to them. Hopefully, we'll be able to speak to at least one of them potentially in a bit, but I don't know if we will. In terms of the driving, chaps, I mean, Matt, you seem to finish the season pretty strongly. In terms of the pace, it seems like the pace was there.
Yeah, I made the switch to the BMW this season. The advice of a couple of people. I think Andy, you sort of pushed me towards the BMW quite a bit, and yeah, it was a good choice, and I'm happy I stuck with it. Where a lot of other guys were sort of switching from the BMW. It has its strengths and weaknesses. I sort of pushed through some of the tracks where it was a little bit weaker. But yeah, it's a great fun car to drive, and although it's not maybe the quickest at times, it's stable, and that's what I need. You know what I'm like.
Well,
so,
you need to deaden that rear end, mate. That's what you need to do. It was a little bit lively in
race 1, but I had to take a few clicks on the rear wing, and that helped me out a little bit.
Oh, I know the feeling. I was doing some rallying earlier on, and the only time I can drive a rear wheel drive car is literally if it's like as unresponsive as like a comatose sloth or something. So I think that's about the only way I can drive it. Andy, it seemed like you had a bit of a roller coaster of a day today. I think you've changed the car a couple of times, haven't you, over the season?
Yeah, well, I started with the McLaren because it had a nice risk-reward ratio, and then they bopped it mid-season, and then the new tyre model came in, and I'll be honest with you, at that point I really I fell out of love with the car. I just really struggled to extract the same level of performance that I did earlier on in the season, and I wasn't in the hunt for the drivers per se, and I just felt I'd be a bit of a liability if I continue driving that car, so more from a team points perspective. So opted for the Ferrari just because there weren't that many on the grid, and I thought, why not, be good to get a few laps of that. Unfortunately, it's not paid off very well, as I've had an absolute disaster this evening, so not been one of my best rounds. But to be honest with you, I guess I wear 2 hats. So both, obviously I want to do well in the series, but for me personally, it's just I just like to see the series, how it's developing and moving forwards, and obviously got the guys, and it isn't, the series wouldn't be what it is without the guys who turn up each week to race. Obviously you guys putting on the commentary, our sponsors, Pure Sims this season, Simmortal. It takes a lot for it all to come together, and for me personally, it's just the fact that the season has come down to the wire. That for me is reward enough, I guess.
Yeah, the car looks good as well. The SimSports Racing Ferrari certainly looks the part, and I do like the Ferrari. I think it's a good car. I think it's a bit overlooked. I think it's rather nice. Anyway, lads, we're gonna have to move on, so we've got a few other people to get to. But it's always good having you in the commentary box, and like I say, we'll get hopefully we'll talk to you a bit more next season as well.
Yeah. Thanks very much, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys. Thank you. So Andy Shield and Matt Bunn there, 2 of the league admins. And I want to get a word with Chaz, actually, because I don't think we've spoken to him all season. So Sam has found Chaz Draco.
Yes, welcome to the commentary booth, Chaz. Must feel quite home here. Must be added. How was it today? I think it was quite a good day for you in the end. I mean, races 2 and 3 in particular, some very good results.
Well, no. Race 3 I didn't finish.
Okay, apart from race 3, race 2 and 3, some really good results.
No, race 3 I didn't finish.
But apart from race 3.
Oh, yeah. Race 1 was mint, to be fair. I qualified 15th. Really didn't expect that. Then I stayed there. I really don't know how I managed that, because usually, if I qualify right, I just drop like a stone, and, it didn't happen tonight, so I must have lost weight or something. But race 2 was pretty insane as well. I mean, I started 4th, and again, I expected the same. I expected to just sink. But, finished 9th overall. I let some of the faster boys through. I let Pete Harrod through as well at the end because, he's a good mate of mine and he only lives down the road and I want to go for a beer with him, so I need an excuse if he wins the championship.
Well, he can certainly pay for that beer, I'm sure, when you do meet up. How was the race start actually in race 3? Guess you were ahead of all of it, but it was really chaotic.
Yeah, there were a few bits that I noticed in the mirror where it was a bit mad, but yeah, it was a lot of it unfolded either ahead of me or behind me, and by the time the stuff ahead of me had gone on, I'd just managed to sneak it through. So yeah, we did all right, but yeah, it's a shame I didn't finish that 3rd race because it would have been a great way to finish the season. I seemed to be quite good in the last meetings, but yeah, it's unfortunate. But the incident at the end just really caught me out, and there was a car backwards in the road. I tried to avoid it, just smacked it with the right rear, and yeah, that was it. 22 minutes of repairs I got.
Don't want to bring up any bad memories, but I recall, I think when we started in the GTEs, I think the first round of the championship was like Brands Hatch, like last season. I think you scored negative points somehow.
You are not wrong.
But these GT3s seem to be much better, and you seem to be much more competitive this season. You enjoying them a bit more?
In all honesty, I prefer the GTE cars. They feel a bit more... You can rag them about a bit. In the GT3s, because of the ABS, and when you get on the brakes, the traction control limits it a little bit. You sort of feel like the car's doing a bit of it for you, and they're a bit stiff. Especially on the new tyre model as well. It's killed them a little bit. But yeah, I found a bit of pace towards the end of the season, which I'm pleased with. But I'd like to go back to GTEs, to be fair, because the end of season 6, I was flying.
Sorry, Chaz, we're just seeing what happened to you in that last race. Actually, on the screen, there were all sorts of goings on taking place going into Villeneuve, dear me.
Yeah, I can tell you how I felt and what I shouted when it happened, but it wouldn't be stream appropriate. But yeah, it was good.
Well, Sam Kumo does have a bleep machine, so but don't encourage him to use it at this point.
No. I could probably outdo any bleep machine if people know me well.
I will say though, mate, it's good to have you up here in the commentary box. We haven't heard from you much this season, and you shouldn't be a stranger, mate. You should come and speak to us a bit more.
Well, unfortunately, mate, I'm not going to be back next season, so we're not going to really get much of a chat.
Oh, well, screw you then. Never mind. Never mind.
I've just got a lot to focus on, to be honest. I mean, there's been a lot of things going on. The Pure Sims team has been formed as well, which has been amazing. All the guys moved over. Unfortunately, I'm not going over there with them. I'm sticking with some of the remaining CQR boys for now, but we're just sorting out what we're doing. But I've got a lot of my own stuff to focus on for now, so whether I'm racing or not, I don't know. But for the next 7 days, I've got one commentary gig an evening, so I'm going to have to rest my voice a bit after tonight, because it's going to be a bit of a mad one. I've got a full week of broadcasting, and then 1 day off, and then 6 more broadcasts.
We know the feeling for that one. I was just going to ask you very quickly, before we let you go, do you have any sort of shape or form of idea when you might return to the real life commentaries at all? Or?
Not a clue really. I'm in talks with the guys that organise the Sports 2000 at the moment. Obviously, Motorsport UK has put out some stuff today saying that they're hoping to get back to having at least people testing sometime soon. So whenever Sports 2000 gets going again, I'll be doing that. I've made a good few contacts over the time in lockdown though, which is nice. I mean, it's good for us lot, of course, even in the esports side, that it hasn't limited what we do. I think it's been thriving, if anything. I mean, I've seen all the stuff that Apex are doing. It's just crazy how busy you lot are as well. So it's I just hope it's sooner rather than later that I'm in the box on the real circuit again, because I was really looking forward to this year, and this coronavirus has really sort of stifled it. But these things happen, and I'll make sure that everyone's up to date when I am, because I'm looking forward to it so much.
Well, it's not a it's not stopping you. It's just a delay, isn't it? And that's all it is. So
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll be able to sort something out pretty soon. Chaz, thank you, mate. It's always a pleasure, and we will see you next time.
Yeah, thanks, boys. Have a good night.
Cheers, same to you. And we're going to have, Sam, our first champion, who's going to come and speak to us. I don't know why they're so shy, but this time Craig Jones is going to join us. Craig, can you hear us, mate?
I can, yep.
Well, congratulations on a terrific campaign and a really, really strong showing today in the race. First of all, how happy are you with the season in general? And take us through tonight's meeting.
I'm very happy with the season. I've just tried to keep it as consistent as I can every race. I haven't been the fastest in even my category, but I think I've only DNF'd 3 times, I think, if I'm right.
Yep.
Won a couple of my own classes. I think I come second in all 3 races tonight, so sadly I couldn't quite get the win. Kevin got me twice, and Matt Draycott, was it, that beat me in the second race? So yeah, very happy. All round happy, yeah.
Now, I assume there's probably going to be another season. There usually is. Are you going to look to move up into the Pro-Am category potentially, or is that something that you'd like to have a go at?
Wow. Yeah. If I mean it means me being another champion next season, staying in the AM, then I'll stay in the AM. But no, of course I'd love to have a go at the bigger boys. But I think I'd have finished in the top 10 in the Pro-Am, so that's still good, I suppose.
Well, yeah, exactly. And the Ferrari, we were saying it's a bit unloved this season, but you've done a good job in it, and we were saying that it always looks good out on the track. So, yeah, I think have you enjoyed driving the car?
A couple of races I have, a couple of races I haven't. I mean, Spa, it felt a little bit loose. I think I crashed out in Spa, actually, if I remember rightly. That wasn't one of my best weeks. The car just didn't feel right on the track, but some of the tracks just felt well. It felt nice tonight, actually, if I'm being honest. Obviously, being an Italian track, it probably suited the Ferrari, but if I'm being honest, it's probably my favourite GT3 car.
So, I mean, in general, then, is there anybody who you'd like to give a shout out to, or a thank you, or whoever, really, before we let you go?
I'd give a shout out to Lars Van Rijn. It was a good battle, really, with him. I must admit, we've been chatting, having a bit of banter, a bit between each of us, saying that I thought he was going to pip me at some point, I must admit, because he kept getting faster than me on the track, but I think he had some bad luck tonight. Shout out to the charity that we race for is Swindon Carers Centre. Shout out to our partners in Track Racer and Simortal. And otherwise, bring on next season, hopefully.
All right, perfect. Well, thanks for joining us, Craig, and hopefully we'll see you in the next time. Cheers. Right, Sam, I think that's probably going to be it for us, because we have run over quite a little bit. But how have you enjoyed the season coming back to the series?
It's been great, yeah, from the rounds that I've taken part in. I'd also just like to say, we forgot to mention who's won the teams championship.
Oh, yeah, indeed.
And that was TechSense Fitstone Motorsport, so congratulations to them. And yes, so I won the championship in a way. Okay,
you're not biased at all.
what can I say? I'm very good. Sim Sports Racing USA finishes in 2nd place, and I believe Renvale Fitstone Motorsport finished in 3rd. So, what can I say? Impeccable. Congratulations to Jack Styles, the man who does most of that, and all the drivers as well in the team. But yeah, well done to the drivers as well. I think this change to the GT3 cars has been really good. I think compared to the GTEs, they're a bit better to race. I think they fit this format a lot better because they are that much smaller. You're going to have fewer incidents. I think everyone did a brilliant job, and I cannot wait for next season. I mean, probably Adam will replace me next season anyway, but I'll certainly tune in and I'll troll on the comments or something. That would be my contribution.
Hey, you could always put your money where your mouth is and get in the car.
Yeah, good joke.
Yeah, I mean, it might be.
I won the one championship I ever took part in, so I'm never driving again.
I think, hey, it's one of those. You never know. I might be the one who gets kicked out. We'll never know. We'll let the viewers decide. Thank you everybody for joining us tonight on the iRacing Esports Network and throughout the entire season. We apologise for the people in the interview channel who we didn't get to, but literally we have to draw a line at some point, as iRacing have got a schedule to adhere to. But yeah, thank you for everyone who's tuned in. Thanks to Sam Kumar for doing the cameras, the reverse grid wheels, and everything all throughout the season. It's been a tremendous effort from him, and a very difficult series to actually do the cameras for, which is always the thing. Thanks to Adam Bath, who also commentated with me on the first half of the season. So that's it from us for tonight. We'll be back. We've got so much more action coming your way over the coming days. I'd like to run you through it, but we'd be here for another hour, I think. So I will see you on Wednesday night when it is the Formula Drivers Challenge is back. But for now, from all of us here, it's good night.